Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Would you like to know the top 10 time to kill guns in the Warzone and have a loadout for all of them? Just watch the video, I got you covered. All this data is being found on truegamedata.com again, and we get like the top 10 cracking rifles, SMGs, whatsoever together for you. I did not include the tag rifles or the snipers because the one is a one-shot kill. The tag rifles are broken currently, which is also a two-shot kill if you land your shots correctly. So that's not really like a time to kill for them, and builds can be found everywhere. Surprisingly though, guys, the VAL is the absolute time to kill rifle. We knew this before. It has a 407 millisecond time to kill with only one damage drop off after 30 meters, and then it's still the best time to kill rifle more or less on distance, as you can see here. Obviously the FAR at some point just pulls up and is good to go, but all in all, the VAL is the gun to go for. The problem with the VAL obviously is the limit on the bullets that we'll be talking later on. So we'll be talking now time to kill, then later builds for every gun and also their problems and why even the time to kill does not matter, because also on the VAL, yes, up to 30 meters, you're fantastic. After that, the recoil just throws you off and is not usable. So it's a close quarter sniper support. Time to kill monster. Then we do have the FAR. Surprisingly, it's the second best time to kill gun. The FAR is absolutely insane. Just going out there cracking jimmies left and right with a 467 time to kill milliseconds up to 40 meters, and then it falls off one time. And the funny part is you can increase the bullet velocity and damage range on the FAR tremendously with the GROZA suppressor and the barrel to give it like up to 50 meters, which then makes it again the perfect sniper support gun. But also it's good to spray on distance, since the time to kill on this gun is still good, better than many others on distance. Considering though that in the end, again, with the idle spray and the Cold War scopes, it's not so good. Followed up by the CR56 AMAX. I know it's a fan favorite together with the GROZA actually. So the AMAX and the GROZA close quarter up definitely have the same profile, only that the GROZA has a longer range. The one thing here though is to say the GROZA feels to have a way better ADS time close quarter combat, and it feels really good because after 20 bullets it has no recoil, so it starts like stops shooting like the Finn and then has no recoil anymore. Whereas the AMAX, since it's a modern warfare gun and the idle spray and the scope is extremely low, can be used on any distance. Like you can beam people with up to 100 meters if you're proficient with a gun and know how to shoot it. Both guns have a problem that you have to shoot the upper body level because that's where they do most damage. In tummy and extremities they don't do that much damage. Followed up by the fan favorite, the FENNEC. What? The FENNEC is better than the MAC-10. Yes, the FENNEC is better than the MAC-10, but the biggest problem with the FENNEC has always been you shoot, all your bullets are gone. What are you going to do against the next opponent? So the FENNEC is fantastic, really in close quarter combat up to 10 meters, and that's it. Don't use it further on that. Funny story followed up, the time to kill of the Modern Warfare and Cold War MP5 is actually slightly better than the MAC-10, but the MAC-10 is a terror gun due to the insane bullet pass through it has. So down here we have with 520 something, the Modern Warfare MP5, which is the same as the Cold War MP5. Big advantage of the Modern Warfare MP5, obviously the hipfire build that we're going to go down on later. Then followed up by the MAC-10, which has a really good range, and you can increase this range tremendously more with the barrels and the suppressor. So you're good to go as a sniper support gun with the Kar98 especially. That's where it shines. It's kind of like the better MP7. Then followed up by, surprisingly, the BullFROG. The BullFROG is actually one of the better time to kill rifles with still 559 milliseconds, has a good range ability too, falls off quite harsh later on, but it might be that the BullFROG can also be played with Kar98 very good, or then actually be paired with a Modern Warfare AR like the AMAX to beam as a 3x gun as soon as the tag rifles and the DMRs get nerfed. Then the XM4 is there for you. Yes, the XM4 is a fantastic gun, has an under 600 milliseconds time to kill, an insane range ability. The XM4 is better than the Modern Warfare M4, but again, on range, I would not use the gun because the idle sway in the scopes, which is a problem, but you can increase the range tremendously too to have the perfect sniper support gun up to 40 meters. Last but not least, the AK-74U. I know a lot of people believed in the gun to be insane. Sadly, it's not. It's an okay sniper support gun, but you can't increase the range that much. You can go like up to 30 probably. And then afterwards, it feels like it's shooting peas, because as you can see, the first damage fall off brings you almost to an 800 milliseconds time to kill. And then the second one is even worse. So really, like if you have on a 40 meters plus someone you want to shoot, you feel like oh my goodness, you're a Growl, right? The Growl is a hit marker machine. It hits every shot, but it's a hit marker machine. So the AK-74U is really being meant to use inside buildings. It's like and even there, it's not good. I mean, it's just not good. Like in comparison to the other rifles that you see here in the IRs and SMGs, the AK-74 is not it. So surprisingly, the Ace VAL is the best. So let's start with a build for this and then work down all the other guns to present you 10 good builds that you can use for the Warzone. Let's start with the Ace VAL. The Ace VAL has a problem that it's limited to a 30 round mag. That's being said, often people do actually play sleight of hand to get over it, but realistically speaking, I tend to play with the Ace VAL a throwing knife build that if you down someone, you can actually throwing knife to finish them. Then you pick your throwing knife up and you go and you go and go. Because with the 400 millisecond time to kill and the insane damage you have, you do only need half your mag to kill someone, or even less than half your mag. So one mag should be enough for two people. With throwing knives, you can finish them and then you have enough time to reload. There are multiple builds you can do for this. I've actually always believed that it's absolutely necessary to play the OSA barrel. But if you play this as a sniper support gun, especially if you play this with the Kar 98, the OSA barrel does not seem to be needed in any way, because you've seen with the damage fall off, the gun is regardless on any distance insane. That being said, I've been playing it with a huge amount of aiming stability, so it was like Commander foregrip or Ranger foregrip, however you feel like it. We have been playing the TAC laser for absolute ADS time beaming, then the Strelok stock for more aiming stability and also the bonus recoil control that it offers. And then with the last attachments, if you feel like you need an optic, play an optic. That would be the holographic, any holographic side you want. But if you don't feel like playing an optic, there are a couple of options. You can actually go for the stipple grip tape for the aiming down sight and sprint to fire speed, but then also you can go for your sleight of hand if you really feel like it. This has been the most reliable tournament gun for me that I've actually been running in tournaments back and forth. In any kill race tournament, this has been my trusty steed and companion. Biggest problem being obviously that it doesn't have a hip fire beast mode that other SMGs have. This is being paired together with a sniper, any sniper you can imagine. Right now, like probably I've been playing this together with the SPR, and the SPR, as always, standard build, 26-inch monolithic tac laser variable zoom scope, and the normal mag for no bullet drop. Can also play this together with the Tundra, but rather like this gun wants to be paired with an SPR, AX50, or Kar 98 as a crazy pusher gun. Next up, we have the FAR, playing with a 50 round mag because you really want and need the 50 round mag. Field agent grip for the ultimate recoil control. There's no other grip pretty much. Then the 21.2 Ranger barrel gives you the ultimate bullet velocity, making it like this kilo hit scan together with the agency suppressor. If you do feel like you have a hard time hitting your shots, SOCOM Eliminator is your friend. Full trust on that one. Last but not least, you will need a scope. Since I play this as a sniper gun, I play with a Microflex LED, and I'm currently using the Chevron, which is fantastic. These two are actually ass. I tried them out. But you can also play the exact same build and slap on an actual 3 arms or a Vision Tech 2 times. Again, though, all the Cold War guns don't feel good on range, especially not against the TAC rifles. You kind of feel useless on 100 meter range beaming. Therefore, I play this as a sniper support gun, again, with currently this gun, though, being paired with the Tundra, and the Tundra having the 21.9 recon, wrapped suppressor, infiltrator grip. None of these grips actually does ADS time, which has been tested. Still, though, the Serpent Wrap is the best attachment as soon as that fixed, but they don't do anything. You can put on a 10x scope for no glint on the gun. And then I'm currently playing the SAS Comet stock to move even faster over the battlegrounds when shooting, when zooming, when going. It's so much fun. Right now, obviously, Serpent Wrap does nothing, so you can play whatever you want. Vandal Speed Loader, usually go for Fast Mag because it's quicker reload without an ADS time penalty. Then we get the fan favorite, the AMAX. Can be played in multiple ways. So you kind of want to have the Zodiac barrel because that's where you get, together with a monolithic suppressor, up to 1000 bullet velocity. I prefer the compensator though, then slapping on the commando foregrip, playing no bonus mag because you do so much damage and your time to kill is so good that your mag is actually enough and your reload speed is fantastic. Then you can play this with the VLK optic or with the Corp Combat Holo sight, whatever you feel like there. Candid hybrid is also an option, and you might not trust me on this, or you will trust me, but the Gatekeeper stock is absolutely insane. That would be a VLK build, but this VLK build can also be transformed into a sniper build, where you can then slap the compensator off and turn the VLK scope into a Corp Combat Holo sight. The Gatekeeper stock tends then to be a close quarter combat stock for absolute ADS time, and last but not least, attack laser. And you can play this as a sniper support build that is super insane to beam on up to 50 meters and cracks jimmies left and right like crazy. Pair this together with the SPR or the Tundra from the other builds and you're good to go. Or obviously you could pair this together with the ASVAL surprisingly, or one of the SMGs that's up and coming right now. Together with the AMAX, we do actually have the GROZA. They're the same time to kill monsters. The GROZA will want to be played with the VDV reinforced barrel because that gives you the most bullet velocity. And again, you really would like to actually have increased bullet velocity on the guns from Cold War because they do not have a good one. With the underbarrel, you go for the Spazza speed grip. Then you slap on the fast mag because you really want to have these 60 rounds on the gun, since after 20 rounds you have no recoil, so you can just spray away and go crazy, which also makes the gun quite static because as soon as you reach that point, you should be on target. When it comes down to the front barrel, the Spazza's compensator way better than the Eliminator if you feel like you can't handle the recoil. The GROZA suppressor also being fantastic. The iron sight on the GROZA is fine. People like it because it looks like the Archangel barrel from the Grau. I do personally really need to play a scope, and I'm using the Diamond Reflex here right now, which works fantastic on the GROZA to then really go out there and slay jimmies left and right. Again, the GROZA is really good as a sniper support gun. I would not play it in any way as a ranged gun because that's not where the gun wants to work. The FENNEC has turned out to be mental. Funny story though is when you play the FENNEC, couple of options. You can play a hipfire version. For the hipfire version, the deadfall barrel is not an option because the deadfall barrel will actually make your hipfire worse. So hipfire version would play 5 milliwatt laser. You would be playing no stock, standard, Merc foregrip, obviously biggest mag available because you really want to have that. And then last but not least, you can play the Saber muzzle because that does not make the hipfire worse. That would be an insane hipfire build that actually works tremendously well. Trust me on this one, it might be your new favorite gun in the Warzone. If you don't want to play hipfire build, that's fine. You have other options because the ASVAL is a fantastic gun that can be played in a way with the deadfall barrel, which gives you damage range, recoil control, bullet velocity, and sound suppression. It's quite crazy what it actually adds to the gun. Obviously, still, the drum mag is to be had. You're going to be playing it no side because you can't offer this side. There's a way to play the tac laser. Yes, you also have the aiming stability and aim walk steadiness barrel, but these don't seem to be needed here. You want to go for most likely, this is personal preference where you really feel like it, but the gun also feels like it does a little bit of shipping left and right. So the Commando usually feels best for me, but that's just, you could also go for the Merc, you could also go for the Operator, you could also go for the Ranger. You got to see what feels best for you there. And then since you burn through your ammunition like crazy, I do prefer to go for sleight of hand on this gun because else you feel like you're just out of ammo the whole time. And this piece can then be paired, for example, with the AMAX. Next up would be the Cold War and Modern Warfare MP5, considering that in my opinion, the Cold War MP5 is not worth it at all. Both have the same time to kill, the same bullets to kill, whereas the Modern Warfare MP5 has the advantage of slapping in a 5 milliwatt laser, collapsible stock, Merc foregrip, 3 attachments to reduce the hipfire spread 50%, 17%, 17%, and then you're already in a tiny minimal hipfire spread that you can make better by slapping on a muzzle brake. If you really are scared and need to be suppressed, obviously you can still play the monolithic integral suppressor, which works fantastic too. The FSS Mini actually makes your hipfire a little bit better, but it's not really worth it. I play this with a muzzle brake and it's the absolute hipfire monster build. After the MP5, we have our trusty steed, the Mag 10. There is many builds now going around about this. The best barrel being the reinforced heavy. Yes, you have the task force, the bonus damage doesn't do anything. You have the rifled effective damage range, but who wants effective damage range if you can have bullet velocity actually? So I played this with the Agency Suppressor 2, reinforced heavy. Agency Suppressor, underbarrel is the field agent foregrip. There's nothing better to be had. A friend tells me that in his feeling, the drum mag does a better recoil control than the fast mag. which is mostly a feeling thing. You can test that easy by spraying walls. I haven't done it yet, but since I do trust my friend and I cherish him, it's a 50 round drum mag for here, but obviously you can go for the fast loader too. Then last attachment is very interesting. The SAS Combat Stock gives you shooting move speed and aim walk move speed. That means while you're shooting, you're moving faster. While you're aiming, you're moving faster. And that allows you to zoom even faster over the battlegrounds, making this gun a really mental build that just flies you over Verdansk and cracks jimmies left and right. And yes, it can play with a Kar 98 or with an AR or with a tag rifle, however you would like to pair this. For the BullFROG, we quickly had to go over to Cold War so I could present you the build. I sadly don't have the attachments unlocked in the Warzone, but I have my good buddy Dr. Drummer, who's been using the gun too and who made me aware of how amazing it is. Again, as a funny side note, yes, the Cold War stats are not exact the Warzone stats, but you can still take the Cold War stats as a feeling for how they would be in Warzone. So if you look at the barrels, the Liberator has 100% bullet velocity plus, so it gives you the most bullet velocity possible. And since you're going to be using this gun as the sniper support gun together with the Kar 98, in my opinion, that's actually where it shines, and that was fantastic because it does have zero recoil. You want to go for the Liberator barrel. Then you can slap on the GROZA suppressor here, actually reducing the damage range, but it actually does help, obviously. When you come down to the underbarrel, it's the spasmless grip. There is no question about it. Magazine, you just want to slap on the biggest possible because why not? You can just beam out and go crazy. And then last but not least, since the iron sight on the gun is actually good, it's the spasmless PKM stock, making you the absolute movement monster on the battleground. So that is the BullFROG for you to then be paired with a Kar 98, AX50, SPR, zooming over the battlegrounds. Let's not forget about the XM4 barrel here, the extended task force. Yes, gives you bullet velocity and effective damage range, but you really need the maximum bullet velocity. And that is the extended barrel for you, giving you the hit scan bullet velocity together with the agency suppressor, feeling absolutely nice. Underbarrel field agent grip. Mag isn't actually the 45 round mag because you don't need the 60 round mags. You have a very good ADS time with this to be paired as a sniper gun to fight close quarter combat with your low time to kill. And I do feel like I can't handle the iron sight on this. Some say yes, they can handle the iron sight. Then you can actually play the SAS Combat Stock to zoom faster, even faster over the battlegrounds again. Or again, I'm playing the Microflex LED with the Chevron because it just feels so good. And then pair this together with a good old Tundra, or pair this together with an SPR kind of HDR X50 build, and you're going to be good to go. Then last but not least, the AK-74U, starting with the Liberator barrel. Since you really don't want to play this inside buildings, I don't think the GROZA suppressor is needed in any way because you're going to play this thing inside buildings. I showed you the damage profile, so I'm going mostly with the spasmless compensator, feeling here a little bit better. Spasmless grip on top of that, slapping on the biggest mag, and then it's an inside building gun, so I'm not going to be using any kind of scopes, sights. I'm going to be using the spasmless PKM stock to move even faster over the battlegrounds, so you have the absolute mobile AK-74U to zoom down jimmies left and right. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this top 10 time to kill video from me and you found the one or the other build that you would like to play. Disclaimer at the end, yes, I did not cover the shotguns kinda because the Gallo is, for example, insane. It has a really good time to kill, 3 bullets and you're dead, but single shooting rifles time to kill really come down to you and yourself. The R9 fire shotgun also takes only 4 shots, which gives us a fantastic time to kill too. The Hooer can actually one-shot you in the face, but this is all not the best things out there. It's like really your personal shooting speed that kind of makes these guns good or not, as that goes to the tac rifles, the M16, and so on and so on and so on. And that's why I feel like the automatic guns and the others are more reliable on the time to kill department to talk about. There might be the one or the other rifle that I actually missed that goes in there between, so I'll definitely see in the comments, but Pony, what about this? But Pony, what about this? All this data, again, you can see on truegamedata.com and just check it out yourself and see which one do you prefer the most, which one aligns to this, which one feels good for you. Thank you for watching this. Hopefully you found the one or the other build. Definitely drop in the description below what you found in your builds yourself, what you think is for you the best time to kill rifle with the best build you're using, so other people in this video can find maybe their favorite build that you recommend them. Also, don't forget to check out Twitch TV Ponyhof. Daily streaming 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. where we test exactly these builds out left and right to slay jimmies. And then again, the second YouTube channel, Ponyhof Plays. Would love to see you over there. Have a fantastic good time and see you soon in Verdansk.